Penguin Random House Audio presents What Matters Most? Lessons the Dying Teach Us About Living by Diane Button, narrated by Maggie-Meg Reed, with a note written and read by Maria Shriver.
Dear you, years ago, these words attributed to Rumi found a place in my heart. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Ever since I read that, I've cultivated an image of what I call the open field, a place out beyond fear and shame, beyond judgment, loneliness, and expectation. A place that hosts the reunion of all creation. It's the hope of my soul to find my way there. And whenever I hear an insight or a practice that helps me on the path, I love nothing more than to share it with others. That's why I've created the open field. My hope is to publish books that honor the most unifying truth in human life. We are all seeking the same things. We are all seeking dignity. We are all seeking joy. We are all seeking love and acceptance, seeking to be seen, to be safe. And there's no competition for these things that we seek because they are not material goods. They are spiritual gifts. We can all give each other these gifts if we share what we know, what has lifted us up and moved us forward. That is our duty to one another, to help each other toward acceptance, towards peace, towards happiness. And my promise to you is that the books published under this imprint will be maps to the open field, written by guides who know the path and want to share it. Each title will offer insights, inspiration, and guidance for moving beyond the fears, judgments, and the masks we all wear. And when we take off those masks, guess what? We will see that we are the opposite of what we thought. We are each other. We are all on our way to the open field. We are all helping one another along the path. I'll meet you there. With love, Maria Shriver.
To my Grandpa Charlie, who loved me quietly but fiercely. To my clients, who trusted me with their tender stories and final moments. While we wait here and wonder, they already know. Author's note. This book is a work of nonfiction, written for the purpose of sharing stories, experiences, wisdom, and personal perspectives about living from people facing death. Each client profiled in this book was someone we supported, held, and deeply cared for. Due to the sensitive material, some names and identifying details have been changed to protect privacy. In other cases, permission has been granted to use their personal names and details. Throughout this book, we address topics including death, dying, loss, and grief. Please be aware that this is sensitive and potentially emotionally triggering material. If you are grieving a recent loss, tending to your own heart might include avoiding reading or listening to other grief stories until you are ready. The stories you are about to hear have changed me profoundly, from the inside out. My greatest hope is that these courageous people and their personal journeys will also inspire you to embrace what truly matters, let go of what doesn't, and guide you to enjoy and cherish the gift of every precious day. Introduction. I'm a death doula, a companion for the dying. The sad part about my work is that all my clients die. The beautiful part is they all leave so much of themselves behind for us to learn and grow from. I was introduced to death at an early age. Through a school community service project, I began volunteering and then continued working at the Nazareth House, a convalescent home just a short walk across the street from my high school. I knew the names, dietary needs, birthdays, and special food requests of all the residents. As they became bedridden, I took the trays to their rooms and fed them whenever I had the time. It wasn't part of my job description, but I loved to sit with them and listen to their stories. I was a kid, just 15 years old, with my life ahead of me. The residents I cared for were on the other end of the life cycle. They wanted to share their stories of love and loss and to reminisce about old times with someone who was willing to listen. Often we perused photo albums filled with a lifetime of memories from generations past. Some residents were satisfied and at peace with the lives they had lived, while others shared heartbreaking stories about dreams that never came true. I learned very early that sometimes just letting someone tell their story can be so healing. In my next job, I worked in the admissions department at a hospital emergency room, where I witnessed doctors and nurses dealing daily with people on the edge of life and death. I became acutely aware of the precious and uncertain quality of life, and how unsuspecting and unprepared we are when it comes to facing our mortality. Unlike the long-term residents of Nazareth House, most of those who did not make it out of the emergency room never had the chance to say goodbye. By the time I was 30, I had been with quite a few people at the end of their lives. But when my grandpa Charlie died in my arms, something happened inside me that still feels like the most spiritually meaningful moment of my life. My grandfather was my hero. When I was a little girl, I felt like he was 100% present, wherever he was. If he was talking to me, then I was the only person who mattered to him at that moment. He made me feel important, valued, and special. I wasn't the only one who idolized him. He was a renowned San Francisco plastic surgeon who specialized in treating severe burn victims. He witnessed excruciating pain and suffering, and he grieved deeply with the families who lost loved ones he could not save. He was humble and kind, and he held himself with a confidence that was devoid of arrogance and full of compassion and the desire to heal the hurting people he served. At the age of 84, Grandpa Charlie was diagnosed with lung cancer. In a matter of months, it metastasized throughout his body and into his brain, causing him to need full-time care. It was an honor to cook and care for him, but heartbreaking to bear witness to this brilliant, loving man losing his independence more and more each day. One night, just days before he died, my mom decided to make my grandfather his favorite home-cooked meal of lamb chops with mint jelly, mashed potatoes, green beans, and strawberry shortcake for dessert. The entire family gathered at the same round table where we had eaten countless meals together for over 20 years. My grandfather was so peaceful. He had Frank Sinatra crooning in the background from the antique Victrola, a delicious feast, and his family surrounding him. I watched as he devoured his meal and giggled to myself as he repeatedly spooned a heaping portion of mint jelly over every small bite of the lamb chop. At one point, he took a giant bite, put his fork down, and looked at each of us very slowly. I felt he was telling me he loved me and saying goodbye. My brother thought he was thinking about all the memories of his life spent with us. Then my grandfather leaned forward. I leaned forward too, just waiting for the words that I thought were surely going to be emblazoned on my heart and soul forever. He paused and slowly said, "When I die, I'm really going to miss mint jelly." We all chuckled at my grandfather's comment because it was funny and unexpected, but also because we were not surprised.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?